Okay, so hello, good morning, good evening. Good to see you for April. Yes, we've just been saying it's another month. Can you believe it was a new year only yesterday, and now it's almost halfway through, which is pretty amazing. And I think well, I don't know, you've just got to, I guess, look at every day and go, wow, it's going to go quickly. What am I going to do today that's going to have an impact? What am I going to do today that's going to lead me more closer to how I want to be and how I want to live? And I think it's also important to look at, and this is how I think we'll start today, is all the things that you've done and achieved and all the things you're proud of. Because I think, I'm sitting here with a group of us, like high achievers, no doubt about it. And it's really easy to always be thinking about the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next book, the next. But sometimes you've got to stop and go, wow, look what I've done already. So I'd like to, what we'll do is we'll go around the room, and I know Helen's here for the first time, so it's absolutely wonderful to have you. Helen, just so you guys know, Helen is a wonderful friend of mine. We've known each other for, Helen, over 30 years, I would say.
We were in kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly. When I was a young, dumb, crazy personal trainer. Helen and her husband Lachlan were one of the very first clients of mine, and we obviously became very good friends. And we did lose touch for a little while, and it's so wonderful that we've reconnected. And Helen, you don't mind me sharing, do you, that whilst we were not connected, unfortunately, Helen lost her husband. He passed away unexpectedly, and but this lady is so inspiring. I did a podcast with her recently about optimism, so it's great to have you. It's wonderful to have you, Helen. Really always good to see your face for sure. So, okay. So what we'll do is let's just quickly go around. I'd love to just introduce yourself quickly. I mean, most of us know who we are, but what's one thing that you're proud of about you today? Not something you've got to do and then be proud of. What are you proud of today? Does anyone want to start? Well, I'll start. Let me start. I'm really proud of this forum. This started back here, I think it was March 2020, when the world went spiraling into a pandemic lockdown. Certainly Melbourne, Australia, the most locked down city in the world. And I thought there's got to be a way to connect people. And I am so incredibly proud of this forum because this lifts me every single month. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm proud of. Anyone else want to share? Oliver.
As well. I'm just proud of myself for proving myself wrong. Like, I just keep telling myself that I'm not good enough. I've been believe that I'm not the most literate person there is because of my the learning disability that I have. But over the last few years, I've been just proving myself wrong, and I just have written my first book. And if I may share as well, I took a bit of a pause for a few months because unfortunately I lost my father unexpectedly. But I've finished writing my book beforehand, and I've just reviewed the final draft of my book yesterday, and I've sent through the approval, and
Yay.
I'm about to sign it off, and should get my book, my first copy of my book in my hands in the next month or so.
It's in print. Wow. That is awesome, Oliver. Well done. Well done. And Oliver, you've had a great journey. I mean, you've transformed your health and well-being. You're overcoming some of your challenges and just doing great things. What an inspiring story. So well done, mate. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Who wants to go next? Let's inspire each other this morning. Sheree.
Okay. Oh.
And then Christina.
Okay. I muted because my neighbor's out there weed whacking. I can't believe it. Anyway, I'm proud of my routine. I decided I know what I'm lacking and I need a routine. So every day I know I touch my work, but I take a step further now and I reach out. And so now I've been invited to speak. Actually, I'm being a paid speaker at 2 additional writers' conferences, one in Maine and one in Minnesota. And I'm going to be speaking at the Alaska Writers Guild this month, like at the end of the month. So yeah, and you just reach out, you just do a little bit each day, and then you get these responses. And then I got a response from the letter I sent out, the one I told you about that I got a great response from, and it's from a year ago. And I was invited to go on this part of it. It's called the Writer's Day Workshop, and he puts together these workshops all over the country. So that could be good. That could be something I would do on a more regular basis. So I'm pretty proud of myself just for doing the things every day, little things. It was no big deal to just reach out and say, hello, remember me? And I'm getting responses from that. So that's kind of neat.
That is kind of neat. That's awesome, Sheree. Well done. And in fact, it's ironic. On my blog that I'm currently writing is called Just One More, and it's about just doing one more. So what you've done, you've applied that. Use just one more each day, one more phone call, one more message, one more email, and wow, the compound effect of just one more is just one more 5 minutes of writing, just one more. Publisher, submission to a publisher, just one more. When you think you've done all you can do, you do just one more, and wow, there's power in just one more for sure. So, Sheree,
thank you.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Love it. Okay, let's go. Christina.
Yeah, that's great. I love the just once more. It'd be a good title for a book, wouldn't it?
It would.
I guess I'm proud of the fact that I sort of procrastinated and put off something that was sort of in the back of my mind for a long time, and that was to transcribe my mother's tape. It was painful for me because she put it together before she passed away, and the whole situation was pretty stressful. And anyway, finally COVID actually came along, and I wasn't able to work and nobody could come and visit, and I bit the bullet and got started, and that was a year ago, and I'm up to 51,000 words. The tape's done, and I sort of feel like I know where it's going now, and I can see it laying there before me, and it'll happen. So I'm feeling pretty happy about that.
That's awesome, Christina. And don't we have a lot to be grateful for COVID? Really?
Yeah.
Don't we? Wow, COVID has actually got us doing things we should have done before, but we kept saying to ourselves, I don't have the time, it's da-da-da-da. I think we should be grateful, very grateful for COVID in a lot of ways. Well done, Christina. That's awesome. Yeah, who would like to go next? Karen and then Lee. Karen and then Lee.
Yes. Well, for those of you who don't know, Andrew and I have known each other for a long time as well. Not quite as long as Helen, but certainly not in kindergarten, but that's okay. Andrew's watched me just change my life around, and I literally have turned everything upside down. And now I'm living the dream living on top of a mountain with my husband, and I'm still working part-time a couple of days a week, but I'm also writing and doing some editing. So I'm very proud that I've been able to do that.
A leap of faith, Karen, wasn't it? It was a real leap. Because isn't that true? When you're working full-time, we have this feeling that letting go of that, we think that's security, don't we? A full-time job, we believe there's security in a job, and letting go of that can be really difficult. But when you actually do, Karen, you can, now you're now totally in control of your destiny, because you can do more writing, you can do more editing, you've taken now control. And I think you can't tell someone that before they've taken the leap. Right?
No,
I don't believe you.
It's very hard to let go, Andrew.
It is.
Andrew, I struggled with letting go of it all, but I did, and I managed.
But you did it. And that, honestly, that is something to be incredibly proud of, Karen. Good on you.
Very much.
That's awesome. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay, Lee, good to see you, mate.
Good to see you too. Okay, one thing I'm really grateful for is, 2015 was when I was hit by a car and got an acquired brain injury as a result, on top of already having autism and ADHD and synesthesia. Basically, what they said to me in hospital was, oh, we hear you're wanting to go to university. I'm like, yes, I am. They're like, oh, don't try university because you'll fail. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm prepared to prove you wrong. Then this year so far at my university studies, my lowest grade is a high distinction.
Yay.
Oh, wow.
That's
fantastic.
So good, yeah. Another thing I'm grateful for is my family, my loving wife, my two beautiful children, Isaiah and Elijah. And I'm also grateful for friends like Andrew, especially because friends like Andrew visited me in hospital and they kept inspiring me to do more, to do better.
Good on you, mate. That's so good. Mate, you should be so proud of yourself. How old are your kids now?
One is 10 and one is turning 3 in July.
Oh, mate, that's so good. Good on you, mate. Proud of you. Really proud of you. Well done. Okay. Wow, this is inspiring already. We've only been going for like 10 minutes. My gosh. See, this is why I love these forums. You can see why I love them so much. Who would like to share next? Anyone want to just... Fred. Now, this is Fred, everyone, not Karen.
Karen, that's right, not Karen.
Guest, I
Fred.
don't know what you've done to Fred's Zoom, but he's now, every time he turns up, it's Karen.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That's so it. Must be my
You're going to
fault.
have to, Karen, you're going to help him revert back to Fred, because
Don't know how.
we prefer Fred. All right, Fred, tell us.
Well, I'm proud of the fact that I've come so far in my book. Hopefully, I'll send it to the publisher this weekend. And I'm very, very, very grateful to Karen for all of her help, and of course to you, Andrew, and everybody else in the room for inspiring me. And it's so encouraging. So,
Well done, mate. Because Fred's journey, it's taken a while, hasn't it, mate? Lots of
yes, it's been quite a while. Yeah. Off and on, up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, and iterations, and what you've now come up with. It's a pretty amazing book. As I'm sure Karen will attest to, she's been the editor.
Certainly is.
So she's read it and helped improve it as well. So awesome.
I highly recommend her services if you need an editor.
That's awesome. Thanks, Fred. Good on you. Who's next? We're all going to have to speak. Sorry, no one gets off the hook today. Rosina. I always love you, Rosina.
Or somebody else first?
No,
or...
you go first, Rosina, and then
Okay.
we'll go. Did you? Then we'll go, was that you, Denise?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then we'll go to Denise after Rosina.
Okay, lovely. Mine's very simple, but just really amazing stories so far. Well done, everyone. I think just in terms of being proud of something, I would, as Andrew would know, I would tend to overthink and question everything and wonder if I'm on the right track. But I think lately I've just been starting to say yes to a lot of things, and I had an opportunity. Somebody suggested a contact that might be really helpful in terms of my book, and this person works in the space that I'm looking at, and I said yes, I'm happy to make contact. I now have that number, and we've sent off texts, and so we've organising a meeting to discuss. So that's a big deal for me, because this person has quite a high profile, and I would have initially thought, oh no, I can't possibly talk to them. But I'm just being open to whatever happens, and whether that helps in terms of my path or whatever, that's fine. So yeah, I think it's just taking a risk. That's my biggest thing, is saying yes to opportunities.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's well done, Rosina. And isn't it interesting what we think is a risk? What it actually is an incredible blessing. It's and all the things we're fearful of when we do it, we go, gee, that wasn't scary at all. Why did I put it off for so long? Right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
That perception we have in our head of.
Exactly.
And so you're overcoming that, Rosina. So congratulations.
That's great.
That's awesome. Denise.
Yes, well, things are up and down. I don't know if you can tell, but my right eyelid now is completely shut, and I'm having difficulty seeing, and I've had acute abdominal pain, but I still managed somehow to get out chapter 11 and saw my specialist yesterday, and I'm seeing the surgeon Monday, and probably will have intestinal resectioning done next week, followed by my eye surgery that's now scheduled.
Oh no, we've lost her. She'll come back. This happens. Give it 5, 4, 3, 2.
Information
1.
that's going to be another book, but I'm just keep plugging along, listening to the inspirational stories that I hear from all of you, that you just have to keep going no matter what obstacles you face. And I'm proud of myself for listening and taking the advice from Andrew and all of you, and keep punching out word after word.
Yeah, That's awesome, Denise. And it's not just about the writing. I mean, you have dealt with incredible adversity and health issues for many, many years, and you just keep going. I love you. Are such an inspiration. You know, you really are. You just keep getting up and you keep looking for solutions. And I think there's power in you should just be proud of you, really, full stop. Yeah. So well done.
Thanks.
Well done. That's awesome. Who's left? I think we've got Helen and Paula. So, Helen, I'm going to throw you under the bus, if that's okay.
I think Paula raised her hand.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll hold you because we'll throw you under the bus in a sec. But Paula, hi, Paula. What we're talking about is just what we're proud amongst everything we're trying to achieve. What are we proud of that we've done and where we are today? Tell us about what you're proud of.
Okay. Well, thank you, Andrew, and hi, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Look, I go up and down 1,000 times. At the moment, I'm up, which is nice, change. And one great thing I'm totally grateful for is I had a PET scan last week and the doctor rang me to give me the results and everything's clear. So I'm really good. And my next one is in another 4 months' time, which I don't like, but I've got to have them regularly. But the fact that it's all good news, that's fabulous for me. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm in the process of decluttering a room at a time. And I've started with, I call it the playroom, but it's just got all my props for when I perform the children's shows and just musical instruments. So I'm at the process. I've spoken to somebody who said, just consolidate, then eliminate, then allocate. So I'm in the process. Consolidating is just getting everything together that is of the same thing, like all the instruments together, all the electronics together, all of whatever. And so I'm doing that, and I'm giving myself 2 weeks to do that. And then I'm calling that room, it's going to be a film shoot room, because with the little videos I do, that'll make it clearer. And I just feel a big load will be off my back. And I took some things to Vinnie's yesterday that I don't need anymore. So that was good. And I'm writing a little bit towards a memoir not every day, but every couple of days. But I'm trying to do a daily habit. And I'm also writing a children's short story to be considered to go into an anthology. So I try and write for 30 minutes in the memoir and then 30 minutes on that little story, just to progress them a bit. And I know it's not much, but it's better than no.
Paula, I want to ask you a question. Are you proud of yourself?
Well, yeah, I'm proud that I'm back on track again, because I go off and then get depressed. And
No. Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Good. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about what we haven't done, should be doing, could be doing better. That's not what we're talking about right now. We all have that stuff. We'll beat ourselves up. You've got 23 hours extra today if you want to beat yourself up over that. Not this hour. This hour is about building yourself up, okay? So well done. I mean, I think that's something that you've been trying to do for a long time. So the fact you're doing it, you should be incredibly proud of. So well done.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, Helen Mack, let's hear from you.
Thanks, Andrew. There's so many little comments that I want to make. First, you said 23 hours. I think we've got an extra hour if we're in Victoria today, because I think we do off daylight.
Well,
so I would recommend.
The Southeastern Australians do anyway.
So let's use that extra hour to be proud of ourselves, not the other option.
Exactly.
And I also wanted to comment on the just one more, that compound effect. You taught me that when we were training together years and years ago, and then I spent a number of years doing boot camps, and that's all about one more, just one more, and that's what I call the boot camp mindset is part of what got me through Lachlan's illness and death, and what I now call Life 3.0. So I highly recommend that when Andrew releases the blog, have a read of it, because it can, he obviously applies it initially in a training sense, but it's just about one more word, one more step. You can do one more even when your
body says no, when your brain says no, your body can actually do just one more of whatever it is that you want to do. So hi everyone, lovely to meet you all. I'm Helen Mack. I'm a business coach, speaker, trainer, facilitator. I'm about bringing the best out in people and author. And author, yes, thank you. So I was just thinking the other day, my first book was 10 years ago, and then I have since wrote one other small sort of compilation book and have contributed to others. And I've got 2 books that are floating around me that I haven't really, well, one of them I have started a little bit, and the other one I haven't. Well, actually, probably both of them. You all know what this is like. I've probably started both of them, but haven't really taken further action on it. So that's one of the reasons that I'm here today, is to start hanging out with people who are writing. So that's one of my plans, and one of the things that I'm here for. The thing that I'm proudest about at the moment is in the last 3 weeks, I've been really challenged by crises in my family. Which before that was quite fractured. And as a result of these 2 crises and my ability to step up and use all of the skills that I've developed over the years in motivation and in HR and in a whole heap of other stuff, I've been able to help my mum and my brother in completely different scenarios. And as a result of that, our family is more healed than it's been in decades. So I'm very proud of that.
That's awesome.
Fabulous.
You've been the catalyst of bringing the family back together.
Yeah, which is fantastic. So I'm going to take off from that energy and get restarted on my books.
Awesome. That's so good, Helen. Thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. Good. And you're in the right place if you want to be a fabulously, wildly successful author, that's for sure. Felicia, hello. You're popped in. You there?
I am here. I literally just walked in the door from work. So I was trying to stuff my face with food because here it is 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Felicia, what we've been doing is we've been going around and talking about what we're proud of, not what we regret, not what we should be doing, should have done, wish we'd done, could have done better. We're talking about what are we actually proud of. And really, I think you're the only one left. Everyone else has spoken. So we want to hear from you, because you've got a lot of things to be proud of. Tell us what you're most proud of at the moment.
Trying to get some light going here. There we go. I am most proud of being resilient. I started my company in 2004, but I was doing it part-time, and I do IT consulting. And I started doing it full-time in 2012, which is very scary because I am single, and if the bills don't get paid, if I don't have the money, the bills will not be getting paid. And from 2012 for now, it's been 10 years, I've managed to sustain my company, even though I call it fledgling, so that I have never been late on anything. I'm able to keep all the balls in the air. And even though it's not where I'd like it to be, I still say I'm resilient, because what I've learned is so many people, so many other companies that do what I do and are the size of my company did not make it through COVID. So when I complain about I haven't done this, and my book is part of my business, because it's actually the journey of building it. And I'm not where I want it to be, but everyone around me is telling me you are doing great things because of that resilience. You are doing something, because if you were doing nothing, you would have nothing.
Yeah. Good on you, Felicia. And I think you said something then, which I just want to comment on, because I think probably a lot of us feel the same thing. You said you feel like your book's not where you want it to be. Has anyone ever said that?
Yes.
Can I just say this to you? It is exactly where you want it to be. Because if you wanted it to be somewhere else, it would be. Okay. Now it's where it needs to be also. And this is really important. I mean, yes, we'd like to write a book and publish it in 12 months and be a best-selling author. Yeah, of course we would. We'd like to wave a magic wand and sprinkle some magic foo-foo dust and bada bing, bada bung, we're all successful authors, but that's not how life works. And, I think Fred's a great example of his book. When he started writing it, is very different to the book he's publishing today. and it's taken that time for it to get to that level. So I think rather than us going, oh, it's not where I want it to be, I want us to start saying it's exactly where it needs to be.
Exactly.
Yeah? And it's taking exactly the amount of time it needs to take to be the book it needs to be to have the impact on the world I want it to have. Yeah. Again, it's just a slight shift in your perspective around where you're at, because at the end of the day, you are where you are. There's no point going, oh, I wish I was somewhere else, because you're here. Let's be grateful. And today, the whole message is about being grateful for where you're at. This is where we are. I mean, I should have written way more books than 8. And a lot of you are saying, well, I should have written more books. I should have done more of this. You can should all over yourself for the rest of your life. But it's not going to get you anywhere. And all that's going to do is stop you, because you feel like the more you should have, would have, could have, the more you stop yourself doing the things you need to do. Yeah. So you are right where you need to be, Felicia. Your book is exactly where it needs to be, as for everyone. So that's awesome. So well done. Go, here comes Sabrina. We can throw her straight under the bus. She's got no idea what's about to hit her. Hi, Sabrina.
Hello there.
How are you?
Not too bad, all in all.
That's good. That's good. We're about to throw you straight under the bus.
Oh no.
Are you ready? We've been.
Just have to be.
Are you? I know it's morning for you. Are you able to turn your camera on, or have you got morning hair?
Let's see. Where's my camera setting? Come on, mobile. Where is it? Hold on. Sorry. Where is that setting? Come on, Zoom. Oop. Come back here. There it is.
Oh, there we go. There she is. Good to see. It's so good to see faces. So Sabrina, what we've been talking about is what we're proud of about right now. What do you? So I'm throwing you straight under the bus here, because you've just popped in and we've been talking for half an hour, but you're the last one. So tell us about, and I know, you've got lots of things going on right now. What are you most proud of?
Good question. Most proud of, I don't really know.
Sabrina, it doesn't have to be something today or last week. It can be anything.
Anything.
And I'm sure Andrew will give you an extra 5 minutes to think about it.
Yeah, I did throw you under the bus. There's no doubt about it. If you want an extra 5 minutes to think about it, that's fine.
Yeah, I might need a couple of minutes to think about that one.
All right. Okay, cool. So while Sabrina is thinking, I mean, is there anyone that's got has had breakthroughs? What tell us, what are you doing at the moment that you think you'd like to share with people? We want to hear stories of success. What have you done? Now, we know Fred's on the verge of publishing his first book. We know Oliver's on the verge of publishing his first book, which is incredible. What else is going on that you would like to share with us? Lee?
Well, okay, with my studying journey, I'm finishing foundation studies halfway through this year, and they've basically said to me that I can pursue my studies of Bachelor of Business Innovation Entrepreneurship, and then I can study my way towards what I want to actually study, which is medicine.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
And one person I'm particularly grateful for when I was studying the electives of business-related stuff is my course coordinator, who was also my lecturer and tutor. Her name's Bianca Price, and she's from Queensland originally, but she's at UniSA teaching at UniSA College, which is pretty awesome.
That's awesome, mate. Well done. That's great. Good. Anyone else got anything they want to share? Any lessons they've learned? Any insights they think might be of value to the group?
Well, I realized when this finishing chapter 11, like I shared with you the other day, that it's too much of my life happened during a 4-year period of my life story that it needs to be a separate book. So instead of those 2 chapters, I condensed it into one, made it only 13 pages, and I'm going to write another book when I'm done with this one. So that was a very big revelation for me.
Yeah.
I have another book in me.
That's all. and that I love that, because that happens, doesn't it? When you, and often we try and jam it all into one book, and we end up with this encyclopedia. But sometimes that's exactly the thing. You'll look at a chapter and go, well, I can't really do it justice in this chapter, but I can touch on it, and there's another book. And then I think this is the reason why I'm sitting here having written 8 books, not because I sat down writing my first, I'm going to write 8+ books, but you write one, you go, oh, there's an idea for another one. And it's just a continual flow, isn't it? Where's your move? I think with movement, with motion, the ideas come, and you know, the more you're doing stuff, the more great things come to you.
It is exactly what happened to me as well. Like when I first started writing my first book, I just thinking like, I'm gonna write my first book and that's it. And then like as I was finishing my last chapters, I had a meeting with Andrew at one point. I just said, oh, I've got an idea for another book. So like which is basically going to be my next step once I release my publish and release my first book. So I'm going to take a little bit of time off just to sort of celebrate, let the fact that I've actually released my life story sink in, and just get cracking on my on book number 2.
Brilliant, mate. That's so good. Well, make sure you let us know when that's available too. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I finally finished the I finished the first draft of my second novel now. So this is my second novel that I finished. It's mid-grade, and I completed the edits on the second draft, and now it's in critique, and then it'll go to beta readers. So I'm pretty proud of that. And then I'll either self-publish it or I'll look for a traditional publisher. But I was overwhelmed. I mean, here I was not going, I'm excited. I finally did, I did this, I'm moving forward. Instead, I was overwhelmed by the thought that, oh my gosh, all these notes now that I have for the second book in the series, I have to do this again. Can I do this again? I mean, can I write like this again? So anyway, it was an interesting thing, because then this seems totally unrelated, but it'll all make sense, I promise, if you just hang in there with me for a minute. I'm watching this YouTube video about this guy in Turkey who decides to remodel his basement. He breaks through a wall, and what he finds is the most mind-boggling discovery in centuries. 5-story city that can house 20,000 people. They believe that it was the Christians built it to protect themselves during, this is the most, okay, so not only am I just sitting there thinking, and when you see what they found, you will not believe it. Okay, so then my mind says to myself, imagine the first shovel. They did it all by hand. You guys, there was no equipment. They did all of this, but we're talking places where they could keep cattle, where they could keep grain. They had places of worship. There were the ventilation. It's you got to look it up. It's amazing. But my mind went to that whole thing, and that changed my whole attitude. I thought, oh my gosh, they started with one shovelful. And I'm just gonna do one word at a time, one thought at a time, one day at a time. I mean, come on, that was just so. But I'm just saying that's how it affected me when you're thinking about things that way. You see things that way, and you go, that's just. Yeah. But if you get a chance, you got to do that. You got to look that up. It's just unbelievable.
That's awesome, Sherry. And I think when you look at any kind of invention or building or anything, and you look at how did they, like Great Wall of China, for example, or the pyramids, or even just the house you currently live in, like how did this get here? And it's interesting because when you think about a book, and oh my gosh, it's so, how do I write a book? Well, it just comes back to this same message, doesn't it? Just that one
word at a time.
Just that one extra. And that's how they build it. That's how everything's done. I think we think we've got to leap my tall buildings in a single bound. No, we don't. I mean, for me, I just, I think a lot of you know that I was on a national morning show in the last 4 weeks, and that just, thank you. That was that came from Just One More. I sent an email I was sending emails out to media, and I'd sent 2 to this one guy, and I thought I'll send just one more. And the just one more, he came back and said, oh, I'm not sure what happened to your previous emails. I didn't see them. Thankfully you sent this one. And that was the guy that got me on morning sunrise and weekend sunrise, and you know, and I'm so grateful that just one more, not talent, not skill, not ability, just one more. Anyone want to share another just one more story?
I had an interesting exercise when I was a stockbroker. They had us figure out what our time was worth by taking how much money do you want to make in a year and break that all the way down into how many calls do you have to make in order to make a sale, and what's your average sale, and how many of those does it take, so that you could break your annual income down to how many phone calls to make in a day, or how many appointments to have in a week. And writing, I have done the same way. I just break it down into smaller pieces.
And you know, the other great thing about that too, Denise, is what that does is that puts a value on every call you make. Like, so
Right.
every call, whether it's a success or not, is worth a certain amount of money to you. And it might be $100, it might be $1,000.
The point they were trying to make was, don't waste your time cleaning your house or mowing your grass. Pay someone else to do it, because every minute of your life is worth this amount of money to do your job. And so writing, I'm putting the same valuation on my time. Every time that I write is money down the road after publishing the book. I just haven't figured out how to do it backwards yet.
Yeah. Well, and there's at least a question: how many of you have a well manicured lawn?
I do.
And who did it themselves?
No, it's my neighbor.
Good. I mean, if your lawn's going out of control, you're right on track.
Some of it, not all of it.
For sure. Sabrina, you thought
Yes.
we'd forgotten about you. No
I
way.
had a feeling I wasn't going to escape. Well, I've been able to have a think about some things, and I actually come across a couple that I was thinking about. I suppose I could start with the very first one on the timeline, and it's interesting. A person was talking about how, you know, that person found that incredible discovery with the multi-story city that was hidden for so many years. But that sort of brought home to me that one of the things I'm proud about is helping our family build our dugout, which is an underground living area in Cooper Pedy. And we did that by hand, pick, shovel, explosives, wheelbarrow, lots of dirt moved by hand. And and that's something to be quite proud of with that achievement that we did. Took many years, and my dad was a bit of a perfectionist, so you know, it was hand scraped with the pick to get the walls as smooth and as precise as they were. Yeah, so, and that's something that'll stand a test of time, no doubt. So that's one of those things that it's easy to forget later in life, but you know, it's something that was early in the development, and it certainly teaches you planning, perseverance, hard work. Yeah.
Awesome. And the question, Sabrina, did you find any opals while you were digging?
No.
For the Americans, Cooper Pedy is an area in Australia where there's a lot of opal mines, isn't there?
There are, yes. And my brother-in-law and my husband at the moment, they're in opal mining, so they are looking for the little pretty gemstones. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah.
Lots of opals, lots of sand, and not a lot else.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. It is certainly. I mean, we left to move to Adelaide quite a few years ago, my husband and I. But it's funny how he never thought he'd go back there, but he's back to help his brother. So yeah. So
well, good on you, Sabrina.
Yeah,
I live in Adelaide.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city, Adelaide.
Good. Adelaide's great.
Yes, it is. Okay. How are we going, guys? Anyone else got any thoughts or ideas or anything they want to find out about? Any questions we've got? How do I do this? How do I do that? Lee.
Well, one tip I can definitely give is I'm doing quite well with not only my studies, also with business as well, which is really going really well. I won't disclose too much detail because I don't have enough time. One thing I've found is I've got to get to the bottom of the fundamentals of what I'm doing and also be consistent in doing the right thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And also one fundamental of success is the freedom to fail, because that means you learn.
Ah, that's true.
Yes, absolutely. Failure is good, hey? Celebrate failure. Which is a bit counterintuitive, isn't it? Christina?
I call failure practice.
Yeah.
like
I think we could all, what are some of the words I would say practice? I think failure is learning, it's a lesson. What else? What else is failure to you guys?
How not to do something, definitely.
Yeah, it's a course correction, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
I would say failure is to no longer have goals and dreams.
I think that's probably the real true definition of failure, isn't it? Is just
give
up on life. That's because there's no other way you fail. I think people think, well, if I get it wrong, I'm failed. No, you get it wrong when you give up trying. So yeah, I think you're right, Felicia. I think that's spot on. And I think as I look around this room, I see people that have been around a long time, and keep showing up. And I keep talking about keep showing up. Sabrina, keep showing up. Felicia, just keep showing up. And, Paula and Lee and everyone here, you just keep showing up. And to me, that's success, because if you keep showing up and you keep learning and keep applying, eventually you'll get what you want. The day you go, I'm not going to that forum today because I've got nothing to talk about and I feel discouraged or I've done nothing, well, be careful. Be very, very careful about that decision. I think it's when you feel least like coming or least like chatting to me or someone, that's the time you really need to do it.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Question.
Yep.
How do you find beta readers? Where do you get them?
Okay, I think that's one for Cherie.
You're on mute. Yep. I know I had to unmute myself, and I'm really spastic with my mouse today for some reason. Yeah, that's actually what I do a workshop, and I present it all over the world. Where to find beta readers and how to use them is more important than finding them, actually. Finding beta readers, it depends on what you're writing. What are you writing? Children's, adult? You have to know what you're writing for and then go find where they're at. If it's school age, you go to the schools. If it's adults, then you find out where those adults are. If it's great place to look for beta readers for adult thrillers is senior citizen, at least in the US, is to go to some of the senior citizens. Those assisted living and independent living, they have tons of book clubs going on there. And you do a little volunteer, read them something, and then you find some great beta readers. What I'm saying is they're in your neighborhood. Don't look too far. You'll find some great beta readers. They're average people. They're the people that already read what you're doing and they love it. And they can compare it to a bunch of other things that are the same. And that way you get a really good feed. Make sure you ask the right questions. Do never hand your manuscript to anybody. This is what happens. I hear it all the time. What do you think of my manuscript? Please do me a favor and read it. And somebody says, well, all right. And then they don't ask them any questions. They said, just let me know. They wait and they wait and they wait. It's painful. Oh my God. Okay, so then you finally get your manuscript back and you say, well, what did you think? And they say, well, I think it was good. A little long. It was all right. You got nothing, folks. You got nothing.
What question should people ask, Cherie? What question?
You know what? My website, there's a questionnaire on my website that'll help you a lot. It's
put it in the chat if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's I'll throw it in the chat, but you need to know, here, let me put it in the chat. But you need to know where they stopped reading. Did your emotional points hit where you thought they would? Did they laugh when they were supposed to? Did they cry? And again, this depends on your genre. I worked with a horror writer. She's a good friend of mine. The questions we ask her beta readers are things like, where did you stop to turn on the lights? When did you get up to lock when did you get up to lock the doors? They're very engaging questions and they're very specific to the genre if you want them to be. But there are some general ones that every writer needs to know. These are people that read your stuff all the time. They can compare it to all kinds of things. And now you want to know, how does it stack up? Did you stop anywhere? Was it boring? Did I miss something? Was there a plot hole? And beta readers are one of your first early reviews because they take your polished draft and they tell you as an average reader, hey, I like this. It's like making an ice cream, a brand new flavor, and trying it out with people that love ice cream. You're not going to go to people that don't like ice cream to find out if they like the flavor. You're going to find all the ice cream lovers, and then you're going to see, well, how did it compare to all the other flavors? And that's what a beta reader is. Finding them, again, that's kind of a different subject, but again, you can find them in your libraries, you can find them book clubs, you can find them in schools. What do you write? What's your genre?
I'm writing memoir and also children's stories.
Yeah, for the children, you know, I go to the schools and I approach the principals and the teachers and the language arts people. And they think it's just a hoot. They think it's a fun time. It's a great way to teach children how to read a book and critically think about it without, it's kind of like tricking them into it. I say all the time, because you ask certain questions of them, but you tell them it's fun. This is a fun project. And they love to do it. It's fun. Readers love to be beta readers. They're already avid readers. This is a privilege for them. And really what they want is bragging rights. They want to be able to say, I knew you before, and it's amazing. I did that for an author who's now won 27 awards, and I can't talk about it enough. It's so cool to come up under her name, because I did some beta reading for her and found a plot hole, and it's just awesome. It was fun to do. So if you love reading, you have to be a beta reader, and that's ideally that's who you're looking for.
Cherie, I've just recently joined a book group, like a book Facebook group, like a book lovers Facebook group, and I would imagine that would be a place, because this group, it's hugely diverse. So you know, there's people who read all kinds of things. I would imagine that a group like that could potentially be.
There's a difference between a beta reader reads for pleasure, and an alpha reader reads more for intellectual. Okay.
Yeah. No, these are
you want an average
readers.
reader.
They're pleasure readers.
I tell you what, some of my critique partners, I got to tell you, I love them to death. But writers are really they're not always the best beta readers.
No, these are readers. This is a book readers group, not a book writers group.
Oh, if they're not writers, then yeah, you want to work with these people.
Yeah, writers don't read.
These guys are avid readers. They love talking about what they're reading. And,
I love those
sharing.
people already. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's
it's
what you need.
It's called what's it called? The Book Hangout, I think. The Book Hangout on Facebook. The Book Hangout spot on Facebook.
And Goodreads has a beta reader group that gets together all the time. They do.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Cherie. That's some really valuable information.
You're
that
welcome.
I think will benefit everyone. So
Thanks.
good question, Paula. Anyone else, as we sort of come towards wrapping up? Anyone else got any burning thoughts, ideas, questions, issues, challenges?
Just quickly.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just quickly. I found reading Find Your Way and Start With Why by Simon Sinek as well really helped me. Like starting with why is very important also. Like, why are you doing what you're doing?
Yep. I agree.
Can you say that again? I didn't catch it.
Find Your Why by Simon Sinek and Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think probably, I don't know how most of us probably heard of his stuff and watched his TED talk. Very powerful, very, very powerful. Okay, anyone else got any thoughts or ideas?
So can I ask Cherie to check her website link, because maybe it's my thing, but I couldn't get it to load. Was the spelling right?
It should be, although who knows? I can't even see it. It's clpostal.com. So it's C as in cat, L as in Larry, and then postal is POSTILL.com. It better be working, or I'm going to have to fire my web host.
CPL.
Oh, there it is. CL Postil. It is. It's good.
There you go. Thank goodness.
The link for some reason didn't work, but that's just weirdness sometimes.
Yeah, I can't get it to load either at the moment. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I typed it, but I typed it separately and it works.
Good.
Oh, okay. I'll try that.
Technology is great until it's not.
Oh, yeah. Great till it's not. How true.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Okay, then. Well, what I think we might do is we might wrap it up, and so people can enjoy their Friday evening and their Saturdays, and just say again, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you this month. We will be back again. The next forum, the next Saturday forum or Friday night forum will be in May, the 6th or 7th, depending on where you are. Okay, so that's actually 5 weeks. So I'll send out a link and I'll send you all the details. I'll send you the recording for this session. So if you want to re-look at it and re-listen or send it to anyone, you can. But great.
Hey, Andrew.
Wonderful seeing you all. Yes, Lee.
Would I be able to give you a call sometime today?
Yep, you can. Give me a call sometime today.
All right, thanks.
Okay, mate.
Good stuff. All right, see you guys.
Good on you, mate. Well done,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye,
Wonderful
everyone.
seeing you.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
month.
being here. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for
Have an
inspiring us all.
awesome one.
And I'll see you or talk to you all in the next little while, and we'll see you next month.
See you
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.